Welcome to 10,000 Delights. My name's Tank Green, and every other Wednesday I publish a short story inspired by a photo I've taken on a walk. This week's story is about how people used to make beautiful gowns out of gold leaves. These gowns are the origin of gold leaf paintings. I found this story in Stanley Common near Linchmere in West Sussex. In the beginning, long before the earth had been dug and ravaged, this is what human beings meant when they said gold leaf. In those days, human beings were taller and more graceful, kind of like how we imagine a Lord of the Rings type elf, only with a dwarf colour palette. In those days, collecting gold leaves was a coveted pastime by the people of Stanley Common. It was saved as a reward for those who had been the kindest and most compassionate the year before. The job was given so that the lucky gold leaf gatherer could go about finding beauty and replenishing any emotional, psychological and spiritual well that felt dry. In this way, gold leaf gathering was a salve for the most gracious few. At the end of the year, the community would round up all the leaves the gatherer had collected, and they would arrange them into the most beautiful of designs about the forest. They would use honey to affix the leaves to the trunks and branches of the wintry trees to remind themselves of what was to come, and to show the trees how true was their love. They would also spin the tiniest slithers of sunlight into a thread and then sew the leaves together into garments which glittered. At the end of winter, as spring was signalling emergence, the people of the forest would put on their gold leaf garments and have the most remarkable of balls. They would come together in a special, intricately coordinated dance which made the whole world seem to be coated in gold. As time passed, the people moved out of the forests and forgot the old gold leaf gathering ways. Sometimes at winter's end, grandparents would go into the attic and pull out the chests in which they had stored their old ballroom golden glitter gowns. They would shake them to disperse the glittering whilst telling stories to the young folk in the hopes that one of them would be inspired enough to go out into the forest and create their own glitter gown. One day, when grandparents had become great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, and the balls and gowns were forgotten, a young woman who most surely would have been a gold leaf gatherer in olden times came across an old stored glitter gown. Not knowing precisely what precious heirloom she held within her hands, but also being a sensitive and creative type, she gently dismantled the garment and placed some of the gold leaves about the edge of a painting she had made. Long story short, that artist went on to make a rather distinguished career for herself, decorating sculptures and statues, books and paintings, all with her great-great-great-great-great-grandparents' glitter gowns. On and on she kept with her creations until one day, the last gold leaf turned to glitter in her hands. From then on, the people needed to find another way to bring the light and the sparkle of the gold leaves into the towns. And because they had forgotten their history, they didn't think to go back out into the forest to gather some more. Instead, they took some rocks they had found in a mountain and beat them so thin that they shined. But nothing any human can ever do will match the glitter and the beauty of a gown made from gold leaves from a tree in the forest. That was Gold Leaf. If you enjoyed it, you can read more fairy and folk tales from my walks on my website at tankgreen.com, where you can also subscribe to my newsletter. Of course, you can also subscribe for a new audio story every other week right here. Thanks for walking with me.